Hey, it's Dave here, and this is the first video on a little mini series that I've created for you on constipation. Now, constipation means we're not going to the toilet enough, and we're going to define what constipation is in the next video. I'm going to talk a little bit more in detail about what causes it and why I am very frustrated with the way the medical system deals with constipation. This is just a quick intro video to whet your appetite, and I want you to watch the whole series if you have constipation so that you really understand it fully. So, interestingly, in the UK in 2011, 57,500 hospitalizations occurred because of constipation. And I'm saying that with a smile on my face because it's kind of funny, right? But it's not funny. Because if you have somebody who needs to be hospitalized because they're not going to the toilet, that is not a good thing at all. Not a good thing whatsoever. Now, it just so happens that in those statistics, it also said that 57 people died because of constipation in 2011 in the UK. That's not good at all. Now, constipation usually comes along with other symptoms. It's a very uncomfortable symptom in and of its own right for many people. You get blocked up, you feel bloated, you might have abdominal pain as a result of that. There's all kinds of other things that can start to come along with it as well. Lots of gas, farting, maybe even belching. Your breath can be terrible if you have constipation, and so it then starts to have social consequences, self-confidence consequences and things like that as well. There are other serious things that can develop as a result of constipation, which we'll talk about in future videos, but it's really not a nice thing to have. And I understand that if you have constipation right now, you might be concerned, you might have some doubts and some fears in your mind, but don't worry, it can be resolved if you get to the underlying cause of the problem. Now, the underlying cause of the problem is not a laxative deficiency. You are not constipated due to a lack of taking laxative medications, right? If you have to take laxatives, it means that something is wrong. It means that your body is not functioning correctly and you are not processing foods through your digestive system and then eliminating the waste at the other end. What are those causes? Well, those causes can be related to your diet. Sometimes ultra simple dietary changes can drastically alter the function of your digestive system and have you going to the toilet without any problems whatsoever. Sometimes the underlying cause is stress. If you've had long-term stress, chronic stress, that can really cause changes in your nervous system that then affect your digestive system, slow things down, stop you digesting your food properly and causing a backlog. Sometimes your lifestyle habits can cause problems, and there are many of those which we're going to talk about in this video series, but just even suppressing the urge to go take a dump can really start to lead you into the rocky path of constipation. If you keep doing that, if you keep putting off the urge to go to the toilet because you don't want to go at work or you don't want to use public services or whatever it might be, then that can entrain your nervous system into not wanting to go at all. So something as simple as putting off the urge, suppressing the urge, can be a problem. You can have imbalances in your microbiome. This is a very common one. So things like low levels of friendly microbes in your digestive system, or excessive levels of unfriendly microbes like H. pylori, parasites, yeast and fungal overgrowth, and a big one is SIBO or small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. Those little critters that overgrow can alter the motility of your bowel and stop you going to the toilet. Now, likewise, they can also cause the opposite effect. They can cause loose stools and diarrhea. It really depends on the individual person and what's going on in there. Now, of course, you can also have blockages in the digestive system. You can have structural problems, strictures and things like that that stop the intestine from flowing properly. Also, you can have things like underactive thyroid function, and you can have nutritional deficiencies, and they may slow things down as well. You don't have enough energy being produced in your body. Everything slows down and you don't go to the toilet properly. And that can often be associated with fatigue, low energy levels, possibly depressed moods and things like that as well. So what's really important with constipation, I think, like heartburn, like bloating, like many of these other simple functional digestive symptoms, is in some people, they can be a warning sign that there's something going on that really, really does need attention. And that if left alone and just resolved each day by taking laxatives, could ultimately end up causing a serious problem 2 years, 5 years, 10 years down the line. So if you have H. pylori, for example, and the H. pylori is upsetting your digestive balance, and that's causing a bit of constipation, which it does in some people, then that H. pylori could go on 10 years down the line to cause ulcers. It could wear away the lining of your stomach and leave you very deficient in stomach acid, and you're unable to then absorb your nutrients, and you become anemic, and you have B12 deficiencies, and that causes a whole range of problems. H. pylori may even go on and cause stomach cancer. For example, if you have small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, that's associated with a whole range of tons of different problems elsewhere in the body, because it damages the gut and it opens you up to autoimmune conditions and things like that. And so I think it's really important not to just, forgive the pun, poo-poo constipation. If you're not going to the toilet readily every day without effort, it means your system is not working properly, and it would be very wise to have a look at why it's not working properly. Fix the constipation and reduce the risk of anything more serious developing in the future. So in this video series, we're going to look at what constipation actually is, how we define it, why the medical definitions, in my opinion, are completely wrong and completely inaccurate. We're going to look at how diet and foods and eating habits contribute to constipation and some simple things that you can try that might alleviate the constipation. We're going to look at how the microbiome can change, good bugs, bad bugs, how your digestive secretions, your stomach acid levels, things like that can affect the motility of your digestive system. And we're also going to look at the stress connection as well. And all through, just give you lots of little simple hints and tips on what you can go away and try. Now, ultimately, you might need to run some lab tests to figure out what's going on in your individual case, but we'll leave that to the end. What we want to do first is just focus on the simple stuff that you can do to try and get things moving as quickly as you possibly can do. So I'm looking forward to going through the series with you, and I will catch you on the next video where we're going to define constipation, my definition versus the medical definition. So I'll catch you soon. Thank you.